Hey guys, welcome back. Today we are on the 60 watt again, and we are going to do some cutting and engraving on this acrylic. Alright, so we got this little kit on Amazon. Comes with your base that this will sit in, and remote and a plug-in. Ours came in a pack of 4. We're really excited about this. It's like an LED night light, changes colors, and we let our son pick out what he wanted done on it, so it's going to be his. Let's head over to Lightburn and see how we got that all set up and ready to go.
Okay guys, so what I've done is that I put the picture in GIMP, I exported it without a background. That's it. That's all I've done to process this, just so it doesn't have a background here. Now what we're going to do, trace this image. And so what I want to do here is that we're just trying to get as much of it as we can get, and then we will go in and edit the things out that we want. So this is really good. It's getting all of these outlines, and we like that. But we want all these extras as well. So I'm going to turn that on, sketch trace on, trace transparency on. So it just does way more than we need. And that's fine. We want that because, like I said, we're going to edit that down. So we just hit that, we hit OK. Now we've got 2 separates. We can get rid of the original picture, and now what we want to do is go through and just edit this. First things first is that we want to ungroup, right? And now we can go in and get rid of everything we don't want individually, right? And some of these we might need to go back in and edit nodes so that it doesn't run a problem. But you get the gist. We are going to go in and remove everything that we want out of it. What we want to do next, or you can do this in any order, we're going to do our outside design, the acrylic side. And what that is, so this is in millimeters, but we go 127, which is 5 inches by 5 inches. So now we've got our box. I'm going to make this a tool path so that it's not in the same connection. And what we want to do is I'm going to regroup this. We're not done editing it. We're just doing examples here. And get it about, the size that we want. And we want Kirby to be as big as possible. And now we've got about the right size. Like I said, this needs a whole lot more editing, but I'm just showing you quick what we're doing. And then we're going to come down here. We want to select both in this part, right? And then you can use Boolean intersection, right, of 2 shapes. So what that's going to do is that cuts it out. Now I lost my outside box. So there's a couple ways you can do it. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to make a duplicate and move one out of the way and leave one in there. Now we can select it all, get rid of what we want gone, and now that box will be able to drop right back in place. The other thing that we're going to want to do is that I'm going to select all of that, and we are going to do an offset. Now this is so we want to cut out the acrylic, but we want to leave, some of the outside. Now we only want the outer shapes done, so we're going to click that, and now we've got an outline around Kirby. And we want the outline to be a separate path also. It's actually different. We're going to do a line for the outline, and we're going to do a fill for Kirby. So now if we preview it real quick, you can see where we're going here, right? So it's going to etch the black, and then it's going to come back in and cut out around it, right? So we don't actually want all of this in there. So again, we're going to have to do some more editing. Let's go ahead and ungroup. All right, so making another copy of the box, and then we're going to select the outline as well as the box, and we do the cutout again. So now the outline fully fits inside of our acrylic piece, and the acrylic can go there. Now, like I've said, this is not finished editing. You'd want to edit this down, more, but just showing you real quick what it looks like. All right, and the next trick is we don't want to cut out the acrylic at the bottom. So you can go to edit nodes, and now what we can do is we can scroll in. We've got this selected, we've got an individual node selected, we hit D, that deletes the node. You can also hit T, and that will trim the node. Right? And what we want to do is we want to get rid of all of these nodes that are keeping it to the wrong size, right? And then we can trim that one, and now we can pull this node down to the bottom. That way we know that it's not going to cut off the bottom of the acrylic where it actually stands in the base. And we do the same thing over here. We just continue to delete those, and that will take it to the end. And we just, again, want to make sure that that is down to the bottom of the acrylic. So it's just going to cut down to the bottom of the acrylic. Now, this needs a whole lot more editing, so I'm going to do that real quick, and we will be right back. All right, we are back. I've done a bunch of editing. I've changed around the paths, so now we've got the outside box. It's a toolpath that will not be getting cut at all. We've got the inside Kirby with all of it's all edited down the way that we want it to look. It had a few different artifacts in it from when we did the trace originally, so I edited the nodes and moved it in to smooth out the circles. Now when we hit preview, it shows exactly what we want it to show. So that's looking great. We are going to need to, but the one last thing that I do want to do is I'm going to take this whole thing and I'm going to mirror it. I want to engrave from the backside so that the front is smooth and we will just be able to see the light shine in the back. So we're going to engrave the blue part, that's a fill. The black is just the outline. We want that to cut out the acrylic so it's not one big square. And that's all we're doing in Lightburn. We're going to hook up the computer outside to this and probably do multiple passes just to kind of get a feel for where the power needs to be. So we will get right back out there. All right, back out here. I've got the piece of acrylic in. I've already done the adjustments and got it lined up, and just wanted to take a second in here. So what we're doing, we're gonna do the fill first and then the line, and I'm not exactly sure on power, so we're doing it at 350 and 40, and that is millimeters a second. Yeah, so 350 millimeters a second, 40% max power. And then 150 millimeters a second, 50% for the cut. I'm not expecting that to be perfect. That's why I wanted the computer plugged into it so that I could run the passes more than once if need be, just in case. So we'll start with this. We'll see what it looks like without moving it or touching it, just looking at it, and then run it again if it looks like it's not cut out or it's not engraved enough. So that's what we're gonna do, and we're gonna go ahead and hit ready go. Don't forget your safety glasses. With this kind of a laser, you do still need glasses, and we will get it running.
Okay, first pass, exactly what I expected. Not strong enough. That's fine. We're just gonna run it more. Gonna make some adjustments, turn up the power or slow it down a bit, and keep running it until we get what we want. And we'll be back and show you what we end up with. All right, so ended up doing 3 passes on the engraving. Finishing, it was 250 millimeters a second at 40% power. So what it was doing is that it was doing it fine. It just didn't look super frosted. So I did it the 3rd time, and when it came out that time, it looks great frosted. Now the cutting, on the other hand, I had to do quite a few passes adjusting the speed, but did end up getting it to cut through. I'm not sure the exact settings that would work because I just ended up turning it up on like 5-6 passes and letting it run. So it could have cut through on the 2nd one, it could have cut through on the 5th one, not entirely sure. But it did all cut, the edges look great. So let's pull it out and actually see what Kirby looks like. All right, let's get that side nice and cleaned up. Ooh, okay, that's looking good. Of course, it's going to be this way, and this side still has the protective cover. Alright, and that's what it looks like. It does look like we've got a few scorch marks from cutting out the outside. So maybe I did that a little too much, but we'll see what it looks like when it's on the light. First time, I'm super happy with that.
Alright, so here he is finished. We love him. You love him, don't you? Don't forget to check out Monport. They're always having some sales. Plus we have our discount code in the description below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.